So hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us today on our very first Team Oasis tutorial. So what we've decided here at Team Oasis is that we're going to start giving out these free tutorials online in all of our classes. So if you come to Team Oasis, you know what we do. We've got filmmaking, we've got photography, we've got dancing, we've got drama, football, we got a whole list of stuff. If you don't come to Team Oasis and you're new to this, then welcome. I'd recommend checking out our new website just so you can see what we do. And basically, while we're all isolated and stuck in our homes, we want to offer you something to keep yourselves busy, keep yourselves being creative. So to start with, what we're going to do is a little photography tutorial. It's just going to be a quick one. So as you can see on the screen that I'm recording here, we're going to be doing we're going to be editing a picture of the cathedral today. I think it's quite fitting. We're from Liverpool, and we've got a nice picture of the cathedral just here. Now, as you can see, the app I'm using is called Adobe Lightroom. Okay, so Adobe Lightroom, you can find it on here. I'll put the link in the description. Adobe Lightroom you do have to pay for it. It's a monthly subscription of £9.98. However, you can get a free trial for a week, and then cancel after that week if you decide to do so. But for £10 a month, I'd highly recommend using Lightroom. You can edit stuff on like the mobile phone editors and stuff. But Lightroom is the one I've always used. It's reliable, and it allows you to work with some high quality stuff. So there we go. So as you can see there, the Lightroom has a free trial. You just click on that, okay, and then you'll come to here. It's just this middle one you want, unless you wanted Photoshop as well. Now Photoshop and Lightroom are two different things, but they do work hand in hand. So in a couple of the tutorials we'll go into a bit of Photoshop with you as well, so you can understand how that works. Okay, so then you click start free trial and then just put in your details. Obviously we have Lightroom, so we don't need to do this, but this is just for your benefit. So if you want to follow along with the tutorial, please go ahead now and download Lightroom. Thank you very much. Okay, so you've downloaded Lightroom, you go into it, and this is what you're going to see. Okay, this is the home page. So I've already uploaded the picture that I want to edit today, but just for this tutorial purposes, I'll show you how to upload it. So in this top right hand corner here, you'll see a little plus sign, and if you hover over it, it'll say add photos. It's pretty self-explanatory. Click add photos. I'm going to go to my desktop, tutorials, and there it is there. So I know I want to add that. Review for import. There we go. You got this little tick box here. That's what you're going to be uploading. If you kind of selected a whole bunch of photos, they'll all be there. Just tick which ones you want, and off you go. Add one photo. That'll import. Now, just as I say, for this purpose, we're going to go to the one I've already imported. So that's this one here. Okay. Now, when you first look at this picture, what I see is that it's heavily overexposed. So the first thing we want to do, down here on the right hand side, you've got all of these sliding panels. Okay, so these all change different aspects to the image. Okay, again, they're all pretty self-explanatory, but you just to give you a bit of an idea of what they do. So exposure, because we know it's overexposed, you can see that you can't even see the sky, it's really bright. So let's go to exposure and we'll bring that down just a touch. So now you can see we're seeing a bit more blue, we're seeing the sky, which is great. because it was a really beautiful day that day. Me and Ricky went out on a little shoot and it was really good. So we expect to see loads more photos from that shoot. Okay. So then we want to go down to contrast here. Now what the contrast is going to do, it's going to bring the highlights up whilst bringing the shadows down at the same time. So it's kind of a balancing act. So if we bring that up a little bit, you'll see, or even down, if you bring it down, you're going to kind of almost take some of the colours out of the image, essentially. So that's not, you don't really want to do that unless you're doing it for a creative purpose, I suppose. So I'll always go up, and as you can see, the little shady parts are getting a bit darker and the light parts are getting a bit lighter. Okay, next one, highlights. So I think the highlights are still a bit too bright, so I'll probably bring this down a little bit. There we go. Okay, shadows. Now there comes a point where you think, do you actually need to touch that slider bar? Sometimes you don't need to. You don't need to use every function that Lightroom has to offer. Now I think the shadows are actually okay there, so I'm not going to touch those. Whites and blacks, pretty much the same thing. Bring them up, they're going to go really white. Bring them down, it's going to take the whites out of it. Now, ooh, just doing that. Okay, so you see around these kind of parts here where the clouds are down here, it is still quite bright. Now if I just take those whites all the way down, you see it's just took all the blue, it's just brought the blue up nicely there. Okay, now if I go back and I see what the image was before, that was before, this is after. Okay, so that's already looking a lot cooler, right? Now this is the curves bar, or the point curve, let's say. Now this one, if you're looking at it, you've got the bottom of the curve is the low lights, and the top of the curve is the highlights. So this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about a curve. Okay, now obviously if you go too far, it's just going to mess your image up, so you don't want to do that. This is a very kind of subtle thing you've got to do. You only want to move it subtly. Okay, so let me start that again. So a little bit more highlights and a little bit more low lights. Not too much though. As you can see, it's very minimal. Okay, so we've got a pretty cool image here. From that to that. So this is the power that Lightroom can have. A lot of the phone editors that come with the phones, they wouldn't really have this kind of power to save an image like that. I did not expose my camera correctly that day. So there it is. Lightroom has saved us. Okay, now what else have we got down here? We've got the color temperatures, the tint, the vibrance, and the saturation. Okay, so the temperature, again, pretty self-explanatory. If you move it up and down, you can either make it a little bit more orange or a little bit more blue. Now that completely depends on what you want to do with the image. There's no right or wrong answers in editing really. It depends on what you're wanting out of the image. Now looking at this, I feel like we've got enough blue in the image with the sky. The sky's beautiful. Okay, now I think the orange on the side of the cathedral could do with being brought out a little bit more, just to really show off how sunny it was that day. Okay, so we're gonna bring that up a little bit, and boom, there we go. That's nicely lit now. It's got a lovely contrast between the orange and the blue. Okay, now tint. I don't tend to use tints that often, but you can try it out if you want. It's again, you're just kind of manipulating the colours a bit more, but I'm not going to do anything with that. If you want to reset back to so if you do something wrong and you want to reset, just click on the little bit of writing where it says the name and it'll reset it. Okay, so the vibrance, again, it's just going to lift those colours out a bit more or take them away. So if you want to go for a black and white image, just take the vibrance out and take the saturation out and you've got black and white. I don't particularly want to do that for this one. So I might lift the vibrance up just a little bit and the saturation a smidges as well, not too much, because then you don't want it to be over coloured either, because it'd just be too much going on. Okay, so just to show you the difference, there we go, there's the original and there's where we're up to now. Okay, now the colour mixer, this is an interesting one. So this is where we can kind of manipulate the colours to be, and change them to be completely different colours if we wanted to. If you wanted to add a bit of a different theme to it. So I'm currently selected on the blue. So whatever colour you want to change in that image, let's go for orange, which is the colour on the cathedral. If you click on hue, you can change that colour to a completely different colour, as you can see as I go. Whoa. Now we don't want to do that, but I might look at the blue and I might want to change that. That looks crazy. Now I don't want it to be completely unrealistic, because I'm all about realism photography. Now I really I've always liked this colour, this turquoisey, duck eggy colour. I've used it on a lot of my pictures. If you see it on my photography Instagram, I really like this colour, and this is exactly how I do it. So you take, we'll go back to that, reset that, go back to hue, take it down a little bit, and it'll make the sky a lovely turquoise colour. So I'm really happy with that. Yeah, I like how that's looking right now. Okay, we'll go down a little bit more and we'll go to texture. Now, a tip here, if you want an image to look a little bit blurred out and a little bit smoother, a little bit softer, this is particularly used if you're going to do some headshots with people and you want their skin to look a bit softer, but right now I'll just use it as an example. So you want to take the texture down just a little bit, and you want to take the clarity down the smidges. Okay, you see, texture and clarity. So that has smoothed out that image quite a bit. Now, I don't know if I liked it. I kind of want to keep those bricks of the building clear. If I take them out, if I take that down again, it kind of takes out the detail in the bricks, but I want to keep that there. So we're going to reset that, and we're going to reset that. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. This is looking great. Okay, so don't worry too much about this. The vignette, you can just add a bit of a kind of circle around it. Ah, it does look pretty cool. Yeah, that's looking pretty cool. I might actually go with that. See, so I didn't even know I wanted a vignette then, but I've just tried it out and it looks pretty cool. So I'd recommend just playing around with some of these tabs along the side and see what you like, see what you like to work with. So I'm going to keep that in actually. That's pretty cool. Okay. Grain. Don't really want any grain. That's if you want to create a bit of an old-fashioned theme most of the time. No, we'll keep the grain out of it. Thank you very much. Split toning, don't worry about that right now. We'll go into that in another video. Now, sharpening. That'll just bring a lot more detail to the image. So if you want to sharpen it all the way up, you'll see these bricks are a lot sharper now. You can't really zoom in too much. So these, you take that out, you see, you sharpen it all the way up. You've really got that nice detail in the bricks. It's only a subtle thing, but it's the little stuff that adds a great detail to the image. So I'm going to keep that in. Yeah, I like that sharpness. Okay. And then don't worry too much about the rest of that there. So cool, there we go. We've got a lovely image there from what could have been a pretty horrific mistake, having overexposed the shot. However, I did shoot in RAW, so I'd always recommend, if you've got a camera, to shoot in RAW. It just gives you so much more freedom in the edit afterwards to salvage images like these, which could be perfect, but you know, you've maybe not exposed it right, and you can really save yourself with that. Always shoot in RAW, don't shoot in JPEG, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so next, I'm very happy with the image right now. I think it's looking awesome. So now the next thing I want to do is export it. So I'll just show you. Exporting is basically a fancy word for saving it to your device. You can also use Lightroom on your mobile phone, on your tablet. So if you download it, you can download it on all of these things. So say you were using your phone and you want to edit it straight away. You take a picture on your phone, download it import it straight to Lightroom, edit it up, export it. It's done like that. You've got a proper boss new Instagram image straight away. So here we go. So I will, when I'm happy with the picture, which I am now, I'll go to File, I'll go to Export. Okay, then it'll bring up this next tab. Right, so yeah, that's okay, quality 100%. Yeah, don't worry too much about these right now. Like the automatic setting is pretty good, so we'll just leave that. In the top right, you'll see export one photo. There we go. Now I'll just save it to read tutorials one. If you want to find the desktop, it's just there, or whatever it is on your device. Tutorials, export. There we go. So if I go into my Finder, go to the desktop, go down to tutorials, okay, and there's the image. Awesome, there we go. And that's our first tutorial. Nice and easy, really quick. If you want to give it a go yourself, I'll put all the information on with the post. As I say, you can get 7 free days on Lightroom. Pretty awesome, really cool app. I always use it for all my stuff. As I say, at this point I might export this image into Photoshop and do a little bit more stuff to it. But for now, just get to grips with Lightroom, have a go yourself, and let me know how you find it. And that's it, smashing it. So I think this is cool. This is our first video of our Team Oasis online tutorials. You'll be expecting it in the next couple of days and the next week or so. There'll be a lot more videos going up, covering all of our lessons. Okay. So there we go. You've had your first tutorial on photography from our very own photographer from Team Oasis. And over the next couple of days or next couple of weeks, we're going to be adding up videos for all of our sessions, so you can practice in your own home. We're very gutted here at Team Oasis that we can't open our doors to you guys to come in and enjoy the classes as regularly as we used to. We're all hoping this corona crisis kind of drifts away as quick as possible, so we can get back to what we're best at, But for now, this is the next best thing. So keep up with the videos, keep creating stuff at home. We still have that film challenge on the go right now, where you can make movies on your phone using iMovie, any free editor. You go on the App Store, you'll get a free editor. We'd love to see your movies, so please send them in. I'll include our email and the website and all the information you need on this post. And yeah, just keep well and keep safe. I'll see you guys soon.